This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 15th day of March in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Opposition leader Aubrey Norton is challenging the government to provide data in relation to the number of Guyanese returning from Venezuela, explaining that there appears to be confusion on the part of the government on the issue, since an early declaration by the government contradicts a recent statement by Vice President Barra Jagdeo. Yesterday, the Vice President told a news conference that the majority of the persons coming from Venezuela and are referred to as migrants are actually Guyanese or children of Guyanese. He contends that almost 90% of those coming across from Venezuela are entitled to Guyanese citizenship. But the opposition leader Aubrey Norton disagrees with that position and said while the law provides for citizenship of persons of Guyanese parentage coming here, the figure provided by the vice president is clearly inaccurate.
They themselves said that the majority of Venezuelans coming over are the Waros. Now the Waros don't have Guyanese parentage. It is true that there are Venezuelans with Guyanese parentage, and they are entitled to be citizens of Guyana. But the government itself argues, and when they provide information in Parliament, they said that most of them were Waros, and the Waros are not the children of Guyanese.
Mr. Norton claims that there appears to be a scramble by the government to register persons and give them Guyanese citizenship, alleging that the administration is also bringing persons from as far as India and Bangladesh. He said the opposition is keeping a close eye on the situation.
If you were saying to us 90% are Guyanese, you have to explain how is it that the majority, according to your data, are the Waro people. Now, as we look at this issue, we also, the PPPs also want us to focus on the Venezuelans so that they pass other things under our eyes. But we are very vigilant, our people are vigilant. We can tell you, for instance, in Brazil they went over and bring over Brazilians to register. We are verifying all the information on it.
The APNU-AFC opposition has long raised concern about the number of Venezuelan migrants coming into the country unchecked, and has also expressed worry that the government might be registering those persons in order for them to vote. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Holiday spending put a dent in your cash. Top up your pockets in the Cash Splash promotion. Win over $5 million, including over $1 million in our weekly draws. Just purchase any Buster, Turbo, Fruita, Cool Kids or Viva. Look for the 8-digit code starting with 786. Then visit Facebook or IG at Buster Guyana or Turbo_Caribbean for more details.
In our search for sophistication and grace, the Super Stylistics team invites you to be part of something extraordinary. Mothers and daughters who possess aura and presence that transcend through time. Step forward and become part of the Mother and Daughter Pageant 2024. Join our legacy as we redefine elegance for generations to come. The search for the epitome of timeless love begins now. Call 226-2825 or 626-0460 to secure your spot in the Mother and Daughter Pageant 2024.
The Guyana Teachers Union has filed an urgent application in the High Court seeking an order mandating the government to engage in collective bargaining for the period 2019 to 2023. In the application, through its attorney Darren Wade, the GTU has asked the court to order the Chief Education Officer, Saddam Hussein, and the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Education, Shanil Hussein Uttar, to be held in contempt of court for refusing to discuss collective bargaining for the period 2019 to 2023 in good faith. The union also wants the court to direct the Education Ministry to disclose all correspondences with the union as it relates to the collective bargaining discussions. Additionally, the GTU is seeking 4 other declarations, among them a declaration that the union has a right to negotiation within a specified period, and that the refusal to negotiate for the period 2019 to 2023 constitutes a breach of the GTU and its members' right to collective bargaining under the Constitution. The GTU also wants the court to declare that the minutes dated the 7th of March 2024 created a binding agreement, and that the agreement arising from the minutes created legitimate expectation. In laying down the grounds for the orders and declarations being sought, the union explained that following the court-ordered mediation process, the Chief Education Officer, who identified himself as the Chief Negotiator for the Education Ministry, agreed on the 7th of March that the two sides would discuss salary increases for the period 2019 to 2023. It was noted that in the following meeting on the 12th of March, the Education Ministry reneged on that agreement, with the Permanent Secretary indicating that no such increases would be discussed. In the application, the union said that Saddam Hussein, the Chief Education Officer, and Shanil Hussein Uttar, the Permanent Secretary, under Section 506 of the Civil Procedure Rules, violated the court's order and acted in bad faith by refusing to engage in negotiations for the period 2019 to 2023. The GTU insists that the agreement in the minutes of the 7th of March is binding and ought to be respected. The union says the reneging of the agreement to discuss collective bargaining from 2019 to 2023 is contemptuous. It also believes the reneging of that agreement is in breach of the Constitution. The matter is expected to come up in the court soon. A post-mortem examination carried out on the body of Police Sergeant Alex Vaughn, who died after being shot by a fellow policeman during an operation, has revealed that he suffered from 3 gunshot wounds, with one of them proving fatal. According to the findings of the post-mortem examination, the 53-year-old police sergeant suffered from a wound where a bullet grazed the right side of his abdomen, and another bullet grazed the right leg. The third wound was the fatal one, which entered his body through the left side of his abdomen and exited through the right side of his buttocks. The body has since been handed over to the dead man's family for burial. His wife Janelle Singh has called for a thorough investigation into the shooting incident that has left her husband dead. She said she does not believe the report from the police that the shooting was accidental. The Guyana Police Force, in its initial statement on the shooting death, announced that a police constable had been placed under close arrest after he unintentionally shot the police sergeant. The two were reportedly part of a police operation in search of a prison escapee who hacked an elderly woman and her son to death last Friday in Saxakali. ExxonMobil Guyana today announced a new oil discovery at Bluefin in the Stabroek Block offshore Guyana. The discovery is the company's first discovery for this year. In a statement today, Exxon said the Bluefin well encountered approximately 60 meters of hydrocarbon-bearing sandstone, and it was drilled by the Stena Drillmax drill ship in more than 1,200 meters of water. The Bluefin well is located about 8.5 kilometers southeast of the Sailfin 1 well in the southeastern portion of the Stabroek Block. The president of the ExxonMobil company, Alistair Routledge, said the exploration program continues to improve the company's understanding of the block's potential to drive viable oil and gas development, adding that the latest find reinforces that they have the people, skills, and technology to safely and responsibly deliver value to Guyana from from the country's resources. The bluefin oil discovery joins the more than 30 already made on the same Stabroek block since 2015.
Mobil Delvac heavy-duty lubricants. With more than 90 years of experience and innovation, Mobil Delvac is a recognized leader in advanced heavy-duty lubricants. Discover how the state-of-the-art Mobil Delvac technology can help protect and extend the life of your diesel engines. Mobil Delvac, the trusted brand for many successful businesses. Protect your fleet and keep your vehicles on the road and out of the shop. Helped by Mobil Motor Oils. Distributed by Sol Guyana Inc.
At the most critical life-changing moments, the National Insurance Scheme is here to ensure that your needs are covered. Access reimbursement for medical expenses for various aspects of your medical care. We know that eye care is of utmost importance. Receive assistance with our Spectacle Care voucher. Visiting the dentist? Dental care is also covered under our sickness benefit services. Offset the funeral expenses of a loved one with costs covered by our funeral benefits. National Insurance Scheme. We're there every step of the way.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo. From its pristine rivers to its abundant resources, it's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
Vice President Barrett Jagdeo believes the Guyana Elections Commission must take appropriate steps to remove dead persons from the official list of electors. As of the 1st of March this year, approximately 704,439 voters were registered on the official list of electors. With the school-age population estimated to be just over 200,000, long-standing Elections Commissioner Vincent Alexander recently stated that the resident voting population should be approximately 580,000. He contends that the voters list exceeds the resident voting population by over 126,000 persons, and that includes a large number of deceased persons. But while dismissing the contention that the voters list is bloated, Vice President Barrett Jagdeo on Thursday stated that while Guyanese residing abroad cannot be removed from the list, the government would like to see the removal of persons who are no longer alive.
Now he's talking about dead people. We are all in favor of removing dead people, whether they die abroad or in Guyana. They must be removed from the list. GCOM has to move to remove them from the list. But it can't be you remove people who are living because they are residing abroad now, because that would be unconstitutional, as the Chief Justice pointed out.
Mr. Jagdeo said that the government is satisfied that the Elections Commission has the requisite systems in place to guard against voter impersonation.
We have a folio with their picture. GCOM have a folio with people's pictures. Many countries don't have that, a picture ID and a folio, the staff, to match people when they come in to look at them and say, oh, this is the real person. We have a ton of checks and balances in the polling places. As a result of that, of the 660,000 people on the list in 2020, only 460,000 voted.
But in an interview with News Source this week, Commissioner Alexander said the excess number of persons on the official list of electors should not be taken for granted. He pointed out that during the recount of the ballots cast in the last elections, the Immigration Department, amid allegations of voter impersonation, confirmed that 383 persons who were listed to vote and allegedly voted were out of the jurisdiction on Elections Day.
That voters list contains tens of thousands of Guyanese who died overseas and therefore have no legitimate right to be retained on the list. Nobody can question that, but they're scorching around it. And my contention in GCOM is that if we know that there are that number of overseas dead, when dead people shouldn't be on the list, we should find a way to solve the problem. Because it is a real problem insofar as in 2020, the recount process threw up thousands of names of persons who were listed as having voted, but who it was contended were not in the country.
Mr. Alexander said while it is claimed that GCOM has all systems in place and there is no room for voter impersonation, the fact of the matter is it occurred, according to him. The Elections Commissioner also said in the absence of a solution for the removal of persons who died overseas from the list, serious consideration must be given for the use of biometrics at the place of poll. The chairperson of the Guyana Elections Commission, retired Justice Claudette Singh, has long ruled out the possibility of using electronic fingerprinting at polling stations on the basis that eligible voters could be disenfranchised, resulting in a breach of the Constitution. In the world of business right now, the Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry has announced that it recorded $3 billion in after-tax profits last year. GBTI said its improved performance was driven by prudent cost management and the focus on improving operational efficiency. The chairman of the board of directors at GBTI, Robin Stobie, said he's pleased to report that the bank has shown resilience and achieved significant milestones over the past year. He said last year the bank and its subsidiary recorded a total asset base of 201 billion Ghana dollars, reflecting an increase of 15% from the previous year. The growth, he noted, was primarily driven by a strong performance in the bank's lending portfolio, which saw an 18% increase in overall loans and overdraft portfolio compared to the previous year. He said the deposit base also grew by 17%, reaching 168 billion Guyana dollars, indicating a high level of trust and confidence from the bank's customers. The $3 billion in after-tax profits represent a 30% increase from the previous year, it was noted. In the statement, GBTI said as the local economy continues to grow at a rapid pace, the bank believes that its strong financial position, coupled with its focus on innovation and customer service, will enable it to leverage through the various opportunities and continue to deliver value to shareholders. Just recently, GBTI announced the appointment of Sean Gertrude as its new Chief Executive Officer. The bank said that with over 20 years in banking and a solid tenure as GBTI's Chief Financial Officer and Deputy CEO, he is uniquely poised to lead the management structure of the bank. Several food items were confiscated and removed from various stalls on the border market this morning during an exercise conducted by the Public Health Department of the Mayor and City Council. The exercise was led by City Hall Solid Waste Director Walter Narine, who expressed concern over expired items being sold to citizens. He also expressed worry over poor storage and labeling of items that are on shelves and that may not be expired, but still pose a threat to consumers.
An exercise that is normally mandated by the Public Health Department of Mayor and City Council to ensure that items sold at our municipal markets and other areas, that is under the control of Council, it's wholesome. And what we're doing this morning is ensure that the items are sold to the consumers. They haven't reached the expiry date, And if they have reached the expiry date, we are immediately removing it from the trays, the stands, and the owners will be sanctioned by warning. Right, so the next time we have that, then we'll force to take more severe actions to them.
The wine confirmed that expired goods were found on the shelves and noted the City Council would like to work with vendors to ensure they are selling items that are within the expiry dates and our expired ones are dumped.
And not only within the expiry dates, they are not damaged because some of the milk tins and so that are bent. Because they are bent, they will have some amount of rusting inside and that can contaminate. So those also will be removed.
The items that were found, the wine explained, will be dumped at a landfill under strict supervision of the constabulary ranks to ensure that they do not find their way back onto the shelves. He explained that although the exercise is supposed to happen every 3 months, the last one was done almost a year ago, and he expressed the need for the city to intensify its efforts in that regard.
We're hoping to restart this exercise to ensure that we have this not only at this market but other markets, Starbucks market, oyster market, kitty market, and also in the supermarkets too, right? Because it is a mandate of the public health department to ensure that foods are safe.
Some of the seized items included cereal, ketchup, cans of corn, packets of Milo, canned beans, and sardines.
In our search for sophistication and grace, the Super Stylistics team invites you to be part of something extraordinary. Mothers and daughters who possess aura and presence that transcend through time. Step forward and become part of the Mother and Daughter Pageant 2024. Join our legacy as we redefine elegance for generations to come. The search for the epitome of timeless love begins now. Call 226-2825 or 626-0460 to secure your spot in the Mother and Daughter Pageant 2024.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guy is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guy Oil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Holiday spending put a dent in your cash. Top up your pockets in the Cash Splash Promotion. Win over $5 million, including over $1 million in our weekly draws. Just purchase any Buster, Turbo, Fruita, Cool Kids, or Viva. Look for the 8-digit code starting with 786. Then visit Facebook or IG at Buster Guyana or Turbo_Caribbean for more details.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall in the region. Following the Privy Council's decision on Thursday to overturn his conviction and that of his co-accused for the 2011 murder of Clive Lizard Williams, Vibes Cartel expressed a sense of victory, Jamaica Observer said in a report. In a statement shared with Fox 5 News, Lisa Evers, and posted on her Facebook page, Cartel conveyed his joy, stating that the Privy Council understood the assignment and remedied the situation by overturning the convictions due to juror misconduct. The Privy Council ordered that the case be returned to Jamaica's appeal court to decide whether a trial is necessary for Cartel and his co-accused Sean Sturm Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John. However, Cartel questioned the need for a retrial in his statement to Fox 5 News. However, He said he is confident that the Court of Appeal in Jamaica will do the right thing in the name of equity, fairness and justice and free them. The Privy Council's ruling followed an appeal made last month by lawyers representing the then convicts, who argued various grounds including the admissibility of telecommunication evidence, allegations of jury misconduct, and pressure on the jury to reach a verdict. A powerful gang leader in Haiti has issued a threatening message aimed at political leaders who would participate in a planned transition council as fires broke out amid a fresh surge of violence in the Caribbean nation's capital. According to Reuters, nearby countries bolstered their border security and withdrew staff from embassies, while plans to send a long-awaited international security force remain uncertain. After unpopular Prime Minister Ariel Henry announced on Monday that he would step down once the council was in place, the capital, Port-au-Prince, was initially quieter, but violence appeared to be flaring up again as of late Wednesday, with a shootout in one neighborhood, an attack on the police academy early on Thursday. A fire broke out at the main prison, emptied of prisoners by armed men earlier this month. A police union said that the National Police Chief House had also been set on fire on Thursday. It did not say whether anyone had been hurt. Haiti is struggling to resolve a long-running political and humanitarian crisis. Heavily armed gangs have taken over much of the capital, and rights groups have reported widespread killings, kidnappings, and sexual violence. Hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced. And finally tonight, international news. Several people have been detained for vandalism at polling stations on the first day of voting in Russia's presidential elections, Russian officials say. BBC in a report said incidents involve green dye being poured into ballot boxes, the boxes being set alight, and fireworks being set off inside polling stations. Vladimir Putin is certain to win 6 more years in office after the vote. However, officials have called on law enforcement officers to be vigilant. Most of the incidents were reported at polling stations in Moscow. Electoral authorities in St. Petersburg said a woman had thrown a petrol bomb near a polling station, but a fire was put out. In one video posted on social media, another woman was seen pouring bright green liquid into a ballot box in Moscow. Voting is taking place in Russia over 3 days until Sunday. The result is not in doubt, as Mr. Putin has no credible opponent. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.